Now you get to make a distinction because partner knows you have 3 of them, right? In fact, you might have 4, but you have at least 3 because you raised, right? So now what we do is, if we have an honor, we lead small. If we do not have an honor, like let's say you raise on 7-6 deuce, then you play big. Because in this case, because of your raise, we go back to the bidding. Because of your raise, partner knows you have at least 3 in that suit, right? So count is not as tricky. Partner knows you've got support. This is an easier situation to deal with. And because you have raised, now you get to make a distinction whether or not you have an honor. So notice here, again, if you lead small from the king, partner can win the ace and return the jack, potentially trapping a queen in declarer's hand. Or in this case here, let's say you have queen third and your opponents hold the king. Well, you lead small. Partner knows you have an honor. If the king of that suit should happen to show up in dummy, because you have led from an honor, partner should know not to fly ace if they don't play their king from the board, right? If they play small, partner plays 9, which will hold the trick, right? If they play king, then you cover. Why? Partner knows the exact lie of the suit, because you've supported and you raised small, and you led small, right? What if the king's not in dummy? Well, then it's in declarer's hand, and they're always entitled to that honor, right? So partner could win the ace and then return the suit, because declarer is always entitled to the king in that situation anyhow, right? So you really can clear up these situations if you don't automatically always just lead big. Now, if all of your cards are big, king, queen, jack, king, queen, 10, ace, king, then just lead big anyhow. Because now you've got to start the unblocking process. And you're probably not going to give anything away, right? If your 3-card holding, if your support is that good, if you're king, queen, jack, or king, queen, 10, or queen, jack, 10, or whatever, something like that, now you're not really in any danger of giving away a trick.
So one of my partners plays that you always lead the highest that you have in partner's suit. And is that an old way of thinking? And what was the
I don't know where it came from. It's just
why doesn't it work? Or why is that not as good as this?
Well, because our first example, the danger of setting up a trick in declarer's hand that they're not entitled to. So it doesn't happen that often, but it can happen. And it just usually works out better to lead away small from your honor, and then partner will get a good picture of what's going on. Especially if we know that it's probably a good idea to go ahead and return the suit. Okay. I want to cover what's on the other handout and talk through these points a little bit, most of which don't take a lot of time. There's one little thing in here that is a little more involved. And I said I call these the dirty dozen. They're kind of various defensive thoughts that I think are good, just good general advice. So the first 2 items kind of go together. And we were actually just talking about this during the break here. This business of leading and following to partner's lead. We know about our sequences, right? We know that when we are on lead, if we have king, queen, jack, we lead king, right? Top of the sequence. King promises queen and hopefully jack, or maybe at least 10 behind it. All right. What if the opening leader leads a small card and you over here are following to the lead, right? So it goes small, and then let's say a small one from dummy. And now you're going third hand high. This is good advice for defense. Usually you're third person to play the trick. You want to play as high as you can. All right. So here, with that same holding, it is exactly the opposite of when you're on lead. When you are following to partner's lead, you play the lowest of touching honors, right? People get confused on this, but it's a habit that you really want to get yourself into. If you will play the jack here, and now you force the ace from declare, your partner will know that you might have the queen or might have the king. Right? If you play the king, should this not deny the queen? This will help your partner locate some of those missing high cards. And like I said, people get thrown off because it's different. We're doing the exact opposite of what we're used to doing. I have in the let me find a different holding here where I think you'll really see the benefit. So let's say you are defending 3 no trump, and you hold something like ace 10, 8 deuce, and you make your normal 4th best. All right, you're leading that suit, you lead 4th best. Right? Okay, this is reasonable. Looks like a pretty normal lead, right? All right. So let's say dummy just shows up with nothing, little cards in that suit. Partner puts up the jack, right? So opening lead, small deuce, small jack. King from declare. Where's the queen? Theoretically, either one could have it, right? If partner had queen jack, they needed to be very careful to play the jack to know that there was at least room for them to have it. Right? If partner played the queen at trick 1 and declare 1 the king, would we know where the jack was? We would know that declare had it, right? Because if partner played the queen, that would deny the jack. And now declare would be marked with having started with king jack. If that were the scenario, and you get in, do you want to lay down your ace? No, because you might set up the jack, right? You want partner to get in to lead through the jack because you'd be sitting over it with ace 10 and might be able to prevent declare from getting any more tricks in that suit. Now this one, who knows? Small to the jack, declare wins the king. If declare had king queen, this is a good situation where declare would false card, right? On the other hand, if the jack gets covered by the queen, we all know declare has the king, right? Because we'd ask ourselves, why didn't partner play third hand high? And the answer is hopefully they did. They should have played the highest card that they held. Now again, if partner has the queen, hopefully partner gets the lead before we do on this hand, right? Because if they have the queen, they will hopefully get that card on the table as soon as they have an opportunity to clear things up for you. And they say, oh hey, the rest of the suit's coming in. Queen, ace, 10, right? If partner doesn't have the queen, but gains the lead, they will be able to lead through declare when declare started with king, queen, while you sit over that other honor with ace 10. This is a good example of why 4th best is a good idea, right? Say declare does have the queen, and maybe another card or 2 behind it. We don't know about the suit, right? Isn't declare always entitled to 1 trick in that suit?
Yes.
I mean, if they wanted to, even if you didn't lead it, they could play the king to force out the ace and set up one winner in that suit. So this is one of the keys behind fourth best leads against no trump. You have to lose a trick in that suit. If you want to have a chance to get the rest of your suit set up, the best approach is to give up the trick early. That's why we lead fourth best. And now, Declare is probably really hoping, if they have only, say, king, queen, X, they are really hoping they don't have to let your partner gain the lead. Because now your partner is bound to push another card in that suit through the king, which is in a bad spot, isn't it? With ace 10 still sitting over. But yeah, that's the main thing with those 2 points, is that when we are on lead, we're leading the top of a sequence, but if we happen to have touching honors, Jack 10, Queen Jack, where, even doesn't have to be 3-card holding it, 2-card. We always want to play the lowest of touching cards, those cards that are equals, Queen and Jack together, Jack and 10, 10 and 9. Always follow the partner's lead with the lowest of those cards, so the partner will know that there is actually room for you to have that other intermediate card that could be really important. So along with this third hand high thing, which I think is a good piece of advice to follow, almost always, not too many exceptions to that. Along with that is, and again, this is for defender, right? So these are things to be thinking about when you're defending, not when you're declaring game. What do we always hear with third hand high? Second hand low, right? Those go together. Second hand low, third hand high. So Declare leads toward a holding in dummy like that. Dummy has king jack fourth of a suit. And let's say you're sitting over here with ace third. So here comes the little card in that suit on the table. Just play low. It's almost never wrong. Could Declare have a singleton and is trying to sneak one through? On rare occasion, you'll want to refer back to the bidding. Did partner show some other two-suiter? Are they trying to sneak one through on you here? Yeah, we can find an exception where it's right to go ahead and grab your ace before it goes away. On the other hand, Declare might have a guess. Denise had to deal with this today. Dummy had king jack. She was missing ace queen. Pure guess. If you play the ace, you solve Declare's problem, right? And even if you don't play the ace, if you hitch and twitch and hem and haw, you've probably given the show away. And I always tell people, look, as soon as the dummy hits and you see king jack of a suit that you have an ace in, I want you to be prepared to play smoothly. Be ready for Declare to attack the suit, so that when it happens, you're just right there nicely in tempo. Small, like you don't have a care in the world. You don't have any honors in this suit. You don't care, right? Let them figure it out. Don't solve their problem for them. So, because, it could be a situation like this. They might only have 2 cards in the suit, and they're trying to hold their losers to 1 rather than 2, right? Well, if it goes small, and they put in the jack, and your partner has the queen, you'll still get your ace, right? You'll get 2 tricks in a situation where Declare, could they see all the hands, would have lost only 1 trick. There's an old book. Anybody familiar with the book Why You Lose at Bridge?
No.
This book has been around forever. I have it at home, and it's tattered and torn and everything else. S.J. Simon was a British expert and wrote this book. I think the book was published 1940-ish, maybe a little later. It is still considered, if you see reviews of the 10 best bridge books of all time, it is always up there. People love it. It's very entertaining. Yeah, it's old-fashioned bidding, and it's from the UK, and not necessarily, what we've done. But that's not the focus of the book is not necessarily on bidding. It's more kind of general principles of bridge. So of course, in a publication from that era, we have the less gender-sensitive language, and S.J. Simon goes through an example like this, and he says, when Declare plays small in your second hand, You duck like a man. Which I just think that, you know, the way it's composed is like, that's, you duck like a man.
Stuart's just as bad.
So, but, you know, but hopefully the point is well taken. You know, that, you know, you want to just, you know, try not to make things easy for the player. You know, make them figure out where these missing high cards are. So, I want to spend a little time talking about count, which is my number 4 point. And now this stuff, I admit, this stuff is a grind. This can be pretty hard. I would say one of the hardest